Hi there, Stampers. This is Lisa with Queen Bee Creations. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I go live right here on YouTube and in my Facebook group every Monday and Thursday to teach you guys a little something. And right now I'm actually out in recovery. I've had rotator cuff surgery, but I pre-recorded this video for you to show you how to make this adorable little Merci treat holder. I don't know if you're familiar with Merci chocolates. They were brand new to me, and I kept seeing these things all over Pinterest. And I thought, I wonder if those are exclusive to Europe or like, what's the deal? And I went and looked, and sure enough, I found them at the local big box store. And this is what they look like. And we're going to make a holder for them today. So these are the chocolates, as I was saying. And they are European. They're from Germany. But they come in a box like this. At least mine did. And then this is the little holder we're making for it. Isn't that cute? And this is similar to some other little boxes I've made to hold gum and Tic Tacs and those sorts of things. But this one is designed to hold these Merci chocolates. I'm starting out with a piece of Highland Heather, and this piece is 9 5/8 by 3 3/4, and it is scored at 3 1/8, 3 1/2, 6 5/8, and 7 on the long side. Then on the short side, it is scored 3/8 of an inch from either side. So 3/8 of an inch, and then 3 3/8. So we're going to go ahead and burnish all those score lines. There's a lot of them. And then we're going to cut some of it off. So just use your bone folder and run it along each of the score lines. I'm worried this is going to be such a quick and easy treat. This video is not going to take very long. So some of you may, if you show up late, you may end up on replay because this is just that easy. But that's a good thing, right? It means you guys can easily make one. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to cut off these pieces for the top. So I'm going to go just this side of the score line. And I'm going to take the score line and those attached pieces off. And this is on the longer side, because there's two ends. This side's shorter than this side. But we're just going to use some snips and take those right off. And like I said, I have a tendency to take the score line with it. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to score on or cut on either side of the score line, and then we're going to wedge into it. I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but we kind of went at an angle. I went straight on one side and an angle at the other. So we're going to end up with this little flap. And we're going to do that on both sides. So outside the little score line, and then we're going to come in at an angle, not very far over, but just a little bit of an angle to take a triangle out of there. Okay, and now we have the ability to make our box. So that's going to fold in, and then we'll have our little tabs. Now I tend to make my boxes to where it's going to wrap around to the back so that any kind of seam is going to be on the back side. So keep an eye out when you're folding this all together because it can go either way. You could end up with the fold in the front. And to me, it's just a little bit of a cleaner look if the fold's to the back. And then we're going to go ahead and decorate it. It's going to be easier for me to do while these are flat. Now remember, this is going to come up this way. So you have this piece of Designer Series paper. Mine is 2.5 by 2 7/8. And you want to pay attention if it has any kind of a direction. You're going to want your direction to be going this way. So if you're gluing it on this way, it's going to look upside down, if that makes sense. But once we fold it together, it won't be. Excuse me. Trying to go a little light with this glue because we don't want our designer series paper to warp at all. And this has an itty bitty little border to it. So that's why I'm using liquid glue. So I have time to wiggle it around. For the front up here, this is going to fold over this way. So I want my directional paper to go that way. And this should have a tiny border. It looks like I need to trim a little. This piece looks like it should be 2 3/4 by 3. So I'm just going to trim down that little bit. There we go. So now I have a border. And like I said, these are just easier to add on when you can lay everything flat. Okay. Is everybody with me so far? This is what we have. Then I'm going to come in again with our liquid glue, and I'm going to take these little flaps here. I'm going to put just a little dab on there. Oops, too much. And then I'm going to fold it up and have the side come into it. And then just pinch that closed for a bit. I apologize, I know the little flap's getting in the way, but we're just sticking them to the inside. And then I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue down this side and down this side. And like I said, we're going to make these wrap to the back side. And then we're just going to hold it together until it gives a grab. And then these have a little bit of a squared off corner. And I thought what we could do is come in here and just cut at an angle, just to pretty that up a little bit. So I just cut from where this is up to the corner. Okay, then we're ready to put our chocolates in. And it will hold 4. Oh, and we could have put our little mini magnet underneath the designer series paper. I didn't think of it at the time, but we can bury it under the designer paper if you wanted to. So if you wanted to bury the magnet, then you would want to put the magnets on before you put on the designer series paper, which would require putting the thing together first and then adding the DSP. But that's not impossible. But I don't mind it showing, so it's up to you. You could also just have a little something over it just to hide it. But I'm going to go ahead and just leave it there because it's not that big of a distraction. And I like the way the little mini magnets work. And if you're looking for the mini magnets and you're wondering what size they are and all that good stuff, you can go over to my website, queenbeecreations.net. And then while you're there purchasing all of the Stampin' Up! Stuff, I have a link to my Amazon shop where you can see some of my recommendations. And the mini magnets are included in there. They will send you over to Amazon, and I will get a little bit of a thank you from them, but it doesn't cost you any extra at all. So now I'm going to use the Wonderful Thoughts bundle for this one. Here I used just some little butterflies I had left over, but I thought I would use this Wonderful Thoughts, and I'm going to use the Thinking of You, and then I'm die cut this flowers here. So I already have that pre-cut, and then we're going to stamp our greeting in Gorgeous Grape. We used Highland Heather, and Gorgeous Grape is just a darker shade. And then I'm going to use the die. Now, these took me a little while to figure out which one went to which of the greetings, but they kind of cut them out almost exact. And one of the things I heard you could do is you could photocopy the front of this and then glue it down to your magnetic sheet or tape it down to your magnetic sheet. And then you could set all your frames over the top of each of the sentiments. Isn't that a smart idea? Then you'd always know which one fit which. But you would want to hold this together because they are, like I said, they're very exact. So you would hold it together with a little bit of Post-it note, washi tape, just something that's going to hold that together. And then I went ahead and cut that out already. So I have that here. And then all we need to do is adhere our flowers. And this is like the day before my surgery, so I'm not going to be editing this video. So I apologize if there's any little goofs in it. Hopefully not, but you're used to watching me live, so goofs are a part of the deal, right? Okay, and there's our little Thinking of You. So what do you think? Which do you like better? Do you like the flowers and the sentiment, or do you like the butterflies? I think I'm a fan of the butterflies. And butterflies are actually going to be in the new paper pumpkin. So thank you to those who joined me live and those who are watching on a replay. Don't forget, you can purchase all these things in my online store. We were using the designer series paper from the last catalog, and it carried over, which I thought was pretty fabulous. So, and it's Poetic Expressions, I believe. I just dropped the name just after I said I'm not going to edit this, right? So again, thank you to everyone who joined me, and I hope you come back next time. Thanks so much. Bye.